shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation.
It's about time we can stand proud and connect ourselves between, Botswana and Lesotho and Zimbabwe and Zambia, like we're connecting between Kaduna and Kanu and Bayelsa.
Young people had to wake up every day to war and to malaria and to Boko Haram and to Ebola and things like that. Sometimes you laugh about these things, but it's a reality, and that reality actually kills the spirit of the young African from believing that he can be beyond what his environment is presenting. And so what the Future Awards has done for 7 years in Africa, and now in Nigeria 7 years, and now 2 years in Africa, is to say to that young African that wherever you are, like Lupita would say, your dream is valid. But how do you tell them their dream is valid if you do not present to them strong, positive images that they can see? People who have risen above all of that bondage and gone the extra mile where it is not crowded.
So to make passion become something that you can be successful at, that where you can drive success, where maybe you can help other people be successful, or maybe even offer them job opportunities, it takes determination, it takes hard work. And I have seen, just even here this evening, from the people I've spoken to, you have it all. The world is your oyster. They say Africa is rising. I say, your time is now. Just go out and show the world what you can do.
Welcome, and to appreciate the nominees of the Africa Future Awards. These are leaders here in Africa, in Nigeria. The program has expanded beyond Nigeria to include all of Africa. So we're very pleased to be a part of this because we share similar goals and aspirations for people of Africa and Nigeria in particular.
And we are so honored to engage in that dialogue with the leadership of the continent about the future of this continent, because we, again, believe very deeply in all that. So all that's to say, I'm really pleased that you're here. I'm very happy to welcome you to my home, to our home, and we very much look forward to the proceedings this evening. So good luck, everybody. Thank you.
Take you by the hand.
And that, of course, the one and only Bez. Thank you very much for that one. And Onos as well, and all those who were there that evening. You guys also had a wonderful time, I'm sure.
Yes, we did.
I want to take this opportunity to thank the consul, the U.S. consul, and of course, Jeffrey J. Hawkins Jr., who hosted the nominees. We really do appreciate that on behalf of the Future Awards. Now, back to what you guys are doing. Now, one of the moments that really stuck with me at the evening was when motivational speaker and life coach Fela Durotoye gave a list of 10 things. He called it, so to say, his own creed. And he said one of the things that is lacking in the nation is values. He mentioned things like, it's like his own mantra that he recites. He said stuff like, make a positive impact on everyone he meets and everywhere he goes. Be a role model worthy of emulation. Be the best in all I do, particularly things I am naturally good at. And he mentioned a lot of things. The issue of value system in Nigeria, I wanted to bring that back to your table. How do you think what you're doing has any bearing on instilling true values in Nigerians, especially the young ones? Let me start off with Nate.
Okay, like he said, when Fela Durotoye was trying to talk about value, he talked about that we are not in the era of value decadence, but we are in the era of value vacuum. That there is no value anymore. You can't get value anywhere. But for me, ICT, as it were, it's a big platform that would really help you to learn new things that can develop you, that can really establish you, that you can use to really sell yourself out there. You know, it's very important. It matters in every child education. So the truth of the matter is, our own ICT in education, it's an high impact project, you know, that brings value to the table of every Nigerian student.
Now, I know a little bird told me that you're working on the MDG, Millennium Development Goal
exactly.
ICT lab. Just what's that all about?
Okay, as the name implies, it's Millennium Development Goal ICT lab in 6 geopolitical zones in this nation. So the whole idea is, you know, MDG, it's about solving social problems that are facing Africans as a whole. So they have built these ICT labs in the 6 geopolitical zones for over 5 years. Those labs have been there, but nobody is putting...
If you didn't mention this, I probably wouldn't know.
Nobody is putting those laboratories into use. I was fortunate to be in one of the centers last month, and I saw the systems, the computers, the building, very massive buildings. Those things are just there.
Is this state of the art, or just?
It's in Oyo, Gombe State.
No, I mean the equipments. Are they equipments that can be used? Are they still
very perfect? They are in very perfect conditions. They are brand new systems. They are brand new systems. They are brand new chairs. They are brand new table and a massive building. So right now, what we are now doing in collaboration with Leapfrog Institute, we are working with the Office of Special Advisor to Ministry of Information and Communication Technology to ensure that we put those laboratories into use. So those are the projects we are still working on. Those laboratories are situated inside the school premises. So we are working towards that. The pilot one will be the center in Oyo. So and we are launching out very soon.
Okay, now there's all this information, all this news, all these projects, but I have a knack for getting the good news. There's a lot of bad news out there, a lot of news that just keeps you sad. What are the special moments that you have experienced? Maybe a special story or something you'd like to share with us. Let me start with Tricia. Any particular events that stuck with you that made you say, you know what, I'll keep doing this for the next 15, 20 years?
So we had the Children's Day party last year in Abuja for the Abuja children. So it was 2 things. It was to celebrate them on Children's Day and also to reward the high flyers. So the other children saw this and then they tried to sit up with their grades. So I had this woman, she's a widow and she has 4 children. So we have 2 of them in the project, you know. And she came and she was crying and she was thankful, you know, and she prayed for all of the volunteers. And I looked at her, she can't afford to give us anything. You know, I looked at her, I looked through her tears and her smile and I said, if it is just to put smiles on faces of other mothers, I would continue to stay in school. You know, because she valued what we were doing for the child. You know, if I go back to what Fela was saying that night, who are we as Africans? Who is a Nigerian? There is no values, so we've borrowed values and cultures from everywhere, and we have lost ourselves in the process. And there's one way to try to redeem this, which is through education. Now, an educated mind is very dynamic. You are opening the child to a world of possibilities, to know who he is, who his family is, and then he can decide who he or she wants to be. So I will continue to stay in school NG, even if it's just to put a smile on the face of just one person.
Thank you very much. I guess we don't have any doubt as to why you're one of the nominees. What about you, Nia?
Okay, for me, something inspired me recently. I realized this UTM exam, it's going online now, CBT exams they do, you know. So, and I talked to myself, these students are not exposed to computer tools to prepare them for the exams. They don't have access to computer, and on the day of the exam, they are faced with the exam question and a new tool to write the exam. So if you notice this JAMB result that just came out, they recorded massive failure. Hardly could you see someone that scored above 250 and the likes. So for me, I worked with a friend which happens to be an app developer. we came up with a CBT software, like a tutorial, like that would better prepare the students for their examination. And the one we did last year, one of them came back to give the testimony to say, oh, this tool really helped me. This software really prepared me for the exam, and it really resonated with my spirit.
Okay, good to hear that. Now, moving ahead, what would you say if you had a blank, I want to say check because it makes it sound financial, but if you had one wish for your organization, for what you do, what would that be? What's that one thing you would want? I mean, millions of people are watching. You have access to kind hearts, people who want to help but don't know how to go about it. What's that one thing you would want for your stay in school?
I would want more support. So support 360, so support from volunteers who would want to volunteer their time, and then financial support from corporations and organizations who would like to give back to the society through CSR.
Okay. What about you, Nee?
For me, in terms of volunteer, I partner with NYC now to mobilize core members that would be doing these projects in their various schools. You know, they are going to adopt Access Drive as a community development project. So for me, we really have enough volunteers on ground, but in terms of financial support, that's what I'm really craving for.
So you want more money?
Of course. let me tell you what happened last month. Yeah. I also worked closely with a particular club in Lekki British School, Students Innovator Club. And what they did, we brought the Lekki British School to Ajegunle. You know what Ajegunle looks like. They did like peer-to-peer mentoring with the students there, and I noticed that there is no ICT lab in the school. So what we now did, we spoke with the parents, and we were able to raise funds to set up a world-class ICT lab in Ajegunle. We did the launching last month.
That's fantastic.
Very fantastic. So we can really domesticate that kind of project if we have enough fund. So it's all about funding.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
I do hope you pick up the awards in your various categories.
Thank you.
And this is not to belittle other nominees. We do appreciate them as well. And all is in a bid to chart Nigeria in a better direction, in one that actually exemplifies what the Nigerian spirit, the African spirit is all about, which is to succeed, to excel, and to effect change. Let me borrow this from Benjamin Franklin. It says that an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. And we want to thank you for what you've been doing, what you're doing, and we'll support you in any way we can. Right. It's still Rubbin Minds on Channels Television, sticking around for the one and only, I call her the Mbok Babe. That's Yvonne Vixen Ekwere. She'll be joining me in the studio for some entertainment news. So it's not all serious on Rubbin Minds. We do like to get a quick breather. We'll be right back after this break. Stick around.